Hey friends, it's your favorite influencer that happens to code. So probably most of you use VS Code, right? And I always get asked this question about these snippets, so I wanted to show you how you can go blazingly fast, even in VS Code, using snippets. But before I get started talking about snippets, I want to give you an extra tip, and that is to increase your repeat delay. So what is repeat delay? Well, basically that's the time from since when you last entered a keystroke or whatever, which is set to a low amount at default, so this kills me on the inside when I see someone type and it's like this. It's so slow, right? When you can go drrrr, and it's same if you have a lot of text, so it makes really working with text easier and etc. without even using Vim, right? Okay, so how can you set this up? Well, basically you need to find the settings. On Linux, for example, is going to be in the accessibility tab here, so you have repeat keys, delay, speed. On Windows you're going to go to the keyboard properties, you can change this, and on Mac is the same thing, so you can go on the keyboard. Another thing, if you're using Linux, or I don't know if this works on Mac, but I just use xset r rate and I set this to this number, and then you can go blazingly fast. Alright, so that's an extra tip from me. I'm just going to close all of this so we can start talking about snippets. Alright, so if you didn't know, snippets in Visual Studio Code let you take some text and then basically turn it into a reusable piece of code or a snippet like this. But the problem in VS Code that it's a pain to use. So for example, let me just scroll to this part. So here is an example of a snippet in VS Code. As you can see, you have to type this yourself, this JSON syntax, right? And there are some extensions that make this a bit easier, and even some sites I used in the past that you can just copy paste your snippet and you can go from there. But I'm going to show you an even easier way to do this using an extension called Easy Snippet. So as you can see here is the Easy Snippet. It has a lot of installs. It has great ratings, so you can see it's really simple. It does all of this boring, tedious management for you. So that's what you're going to do. In your editor, you're going to press Ctrl-Shift-X or whatever else might be the shortcut for you. And then you can just type Easy Snippet, and then it should show it to you. So as you can see, here are all the extensions. And then let's see, you can probably install this extension right here. So you can see it's from inu1255. So that you don't install something by accident, you can obviously always see by the install count and etc. that is the legit thing. Alright, so I'm going to close this and I'm going to go back here. And now inside my editor, I'm going to press Ctrl-P, or you can press F1, which is going to be the command palette. So you can type the pointy boy when you press Ctrl-P, and I'm going to say Easy Snippet, open snippet view, and this is going to show the snippets. So for example, if I press Ctrl-N, this is going to open a blank file. Here you can select plain text. This is an easy way to try things out. I'm going to pick Svelte for the language. And now we can cruise. So now I can say SFC, this is going to give me a single file component if I'm making a page, right? Or I can just use a regular script and etc. Everyone's seen my pre-tag, so you can just type your variable here and everything is great. Also, another thing I want to mention is that when you're adding a new snippet, if you're using format unsafe, it might cause weird issues. So go to your settings, and when you're adding snippets, just disable for that 1 second formatting unsafe, because it's going to do some weird formatting, because it doesn't recognize this format that Easy Snippet uses. But yeah, let me just close this and let's just create a snippet, right? If I open the snippet manager, you can see I already have a lot of snippets here. I have some for CSS base styles, so you can even create an entire snippet like this. So when I'm working on a demo or something, I just like to paste this in. So yeah, this is really useful. And then I have some for JavaScript, right, logging and etc. And here I have a lot for Svelte, so I have a wait block, log, pre, script tag, as you can see what I showed you before. So if I go here's just a console log, right? So I can press C and boom, I can get a console log, right? Which is really awesome. And then let's see, here is the pre one, and I'm going to explain how all of this works, of course. So as you can see, this is so easy. You can just select a block of text and edit as a snippet instead of doing that JSON file yourself. But I'm going to also show you how that works. So let's add a snippet. So the easiest way for you probably going to be inside your project, right? You're working and you're noticing, okay, I'm doing this for the 100th time right now. I want to add something. So for example, let's say that I have a list. So I can say UL and then I can close UL, and let's just do an each. So I can say in Svelte each items as item. And then I can say this, and I can even use li. And we have an item here. Okay, so basically before we do this, we need to turn these values into variables, right? So let's see, here is an even example of a for loop in the VS Code docs. So you can use this dollar and number, or you can even give it a label. So we can do it like this. So we can say, hey, this is where your initial cursor is going to be. Then your cursor, when you press tab, is going to jump to here. And then your cursor is going to jump to here. So let's first do that. Actually, it's 2. And of course, I'm just going to select it all here, press Ctrl P. Then I'm going to use the pointy boy and I'm going to say easy snippet. And you should have an option create snippet from selection. So now it asks you to enter the name. So since I already have an each, I'm going to name it list. So this is how we're going to invoke this list. And now we're going to get this file and we can give it a description, svelte each block, or actually let's just give it a name of svelte list. And now you can see here you have some weird things because of formatting also thing, but we can also remove this and you won't have any issues. And then we can just save this. You can see this is how simple this was. So you didn't have to open any weird JSON, etc. And let's just see if I remove it from here. Now when I start typing list, you can see auto completion. Ah, boom. So we can now see that we can get items as item. And then we can also press it here. So let's see what's going on here. Don't really like the 0. So I guess it has to be 1, 2, 3. So let's save this. And then I can go back here. I can just type in list. And now we can have item. So I'm pressing tab as item. But notice that we have to tab this, but this is already going to probably have the same name as this one here. So we can use the same one. We can type 2. And now when I type list, items as items. So now it's going to be in 2 places. And now we can even use the same syntax as they've done here. So we can say like this. So items as item or whatever else you want. You basically get it. And now you can save this if you want. And let's do it again. List. So now you can see it's already typed for you. So maybe you already have this value or whatever. But again, you can do it yourself. Item. And basically that's it. Another awesome thing I want to mention is that I'm going to link this in the description so you can read this in the VS Code docs, because there's some interesting things here. You can use the default variables they expose to you and they literally explain everything to you. Snippet syntax, tab stops, placeholders. So there's also interesting things. Then you have more interesting which are variables. You can get the select text, current line, the line number, file name, date, text from your clipboard. You can do a lot of things, whatever you want, right? But let me just close this and I'm going to show you a couple of more things. So when I open again the sidebar where we have everything here, you can see here are some options. Here is you can add a group, so you can add more languages if you want. You can refresh it if you need to. You can search for your snippet. And then for each one, how do you edit this, right? So you can go here. You can add a snippet yourself if you press it like this. Or you can edit this group. And now inside of this group, this is what you would have to do by hand, right? So you can see I have all of my examples, component, single file component, and etc. Let's find the list one. Here it is, list, prefix, list, description. So you can change this yourself if you want, and you can save this. So you can see body, and it does basically everything for you. That's basically it. Alright, so if you like what you've seen, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can find my Patreon in the description and join the Discord. Thank you for watching and catch you in the next one. Peace!